Hello aspirants, I hope you are having a great day. In this video, we are going to discuss and solve the UPSC GeoScientist Prelims 2022 Geology paper. We will divide the questions as per the specific sections mentioned in the syllabus to make it easier for you to refer after completion of the topics given in the syllabus. So without any further ado, let's get started. So let's discuss the questions from the physical geology portions first. A common mistake in the study of the Earth processes is to equate uniformitarianism with which of the following principles? Option A is actualism, B catastrophism, directionalism, and neo-catastrophism. So we can divide the principles related to Earth processes into three attributes. That is, how does the Earth changes according to these principles, constancy of the events, and the rate of these events. As per uniformitarianism, Earth has evolved through continuous uniform events which are same in the past and occur at the same rate. If we see the actualism principle, Earth has evolved through a range of events where the physical laws of these events may be constant, but the rates may have varied. Catastrophism principle rely on big episodic events which significantly differ from the principles of uniformitarianism. Hence, actualism is more closely related to uniformitarianism and often mistakenly equated with it. So, the correct answer of this question will be option A, actualism. Next question. The process of differentiation explains low concentration of which one of the following elements near the Earth's surface? Iron, manganese, zinc, and chromium. So after the initial formation of protoplanet, the Earth has gradually started heating up. Once the melting temperature of iron was reached within the Earth, the initial random mixture of dust particles and gases began to unmix and differentiate according to the density of the various materials involved. This differentiation caused the heavy metals like iron, nickel, and related elements to be concentrated in the core of the Earth, whereas the light elements like oxygen, silicon, aluminum, potassium, sodium, calcium, etc., were enriched in the outer layer of the Earth, which is the crust. So, the option A is the correct solution, that is iron. Next question. Water vapor constitutes what percentage of all volcanic gases? As you may know, the abundance of gases varies considerably from volcano to volcano, with volcanic activity and also with tectonic setting. However, water vapor is consistently the most abundant volcanic gas, and normally it ranges from more than 60% of total emissions. And the carbon dioxide typically accounts for 10 to 40% emission. So, this is the option D is the correct solution, which is between 50% to 80%. Coming to the next question, which one of the following is not related to volcanic and plutonic landforms? Lopolith, Colle, Scoriacon, and Flatiron. So here, Lopolith and Scoriacon are related to plutonic and volcanic landforms respectively, as you may have already known. But Colle is a landform that is referred to volcanic lava flows. Hence, it is a volcanic landform as well. Flatiron is a steeply sloping triangular landform created by the differential erosion of a steeply tipping erosion-resistant layer of rock overlying a softer strata. Hence, it is neither a volcanic or a plutonic landform. So, option D will be the right answer. You can also refer to the picture for the Flatiron. The next question is Canada's Hudson Bay has gradually uplifted by 300 meters in last 8,000 years due to which of the following processes? Tectonic uplift, isostatic adjustment, orogenesis, compression of the region. Okay, so during the peak of the last ice age, about 25,000 years ago, the weight of the glacial ice, which was around 2 to 3 kilometers thick, pressed the Earth's surface down into a bowl-shaped feature. After the end of this ice age, the land was uplifted, which can be seen in the form of raised beaches and the northward drainage of the Tyrrell Sea in the Hudson Bay region. This is due to the isostatic rebound. By the way, the land is still rising today. Hence, the option B is the correct answer. Next question asks, consider the following statements regarding paleomagnetic variations across the Miocene ridges. The statement 1 states symmetrical magnetic intensity pattern is recorded in the ocean floor rocks across the ridges. Statement 2 states the alternating magnetic stripes mirrored on the opposite sides of the ridge axis are created by basaltic magma during time of normal and reversed polarities. Statement 3 states reversals of the magnetic field have occurred many times during the geological past and are simultaneous worldwide events. Which of the statements given above are correct? Okay, so statement 1 here is correct, as the degree of magnetization, that is the magnetic intensity pattern, are symmetrical on the either side of the ridge or the across the ridges. Statement 2 is also correct, as the alternate magnetic stripes are created after the solidification of magnetic minerals from the basaltic magma, depending upon the magnetic polarity at the time of eruption. Statement 3 is also correct, as the magnetic field have reversed many times in the geological past, which are of course a simultaneous event worldwide. So option D is the correct choice, that is 1, 2, 3, all the statements are true. Next question is which one of the following is the correct idealized sequence of stages in the evolution of a karst topography in temperate region? So the idealized sequence of evolution of karst topography can be divided into three stages: early, intermediate, and the late stage. In the early stage, there are numerous underground caverns, while the surface is nearly flat. Gradually, these caverns enlarge, resulting in roof collapse and formation of sinkholes. So, this number of sinkholes collapse to form solution valleys. This happens in the intermediate stage, where the maximum relief is observed. The continued solution of limestones leaves only low rounded hills and knolls in the final stage. So option A is the correct answer, where the low conical knolls are found in the late stage, and nearly flat surface is found at the early stage, and the maximum relief is seen in the intermediate stage. So option A is the right answer. Question number 8. Consider the following statement regarding morphometric properties of stream network and drainage basins. Drainage density is the mean length of stream channels per unit area. Stream frequency is the number of stream segments per unit area. Basin relief is the mean upslope distance from the channel to watershed. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Okay, so drainage density is expressed as the ratio of total length of all the stream channels within a drainage basin to the total area of the basin. Hence, the statement 1 here is wrong. The elevation difference between highest and the lowest point on the valley floor is the basin relief. So statement 3 is also wrong. Statement 2 is correct, as stream frequency is defined as the number of stream segments per unit area. Hence, here option D is the only correct answer. Next question. The type of dune having characteristic intermediate between transverse dune and a star dune is known as which of the following? Barkanoid, linear, parabolic, or reversing dune? Okay, so as you can see from this figure, the dune that will be intermediate between the transverse and the star dune has to have a bidirectional prevailing wind to show the characteristic of both the dune types, right? It is understood that reversing dunes are intermediate between star and the transverse dune with reversing prevailing winds. They also have a sleeve face on the opposite side of the crest. Hence, option D is the correct answer. You can refer to the picture here. This is the reversing dune, this is a star dune, and this is a transverse dune. As you can see, reversing dune is the intermediate between these two. Which one of the following pairs regarding type of glacier and its common characteristic is not correctly matched? Not correctly matched. So if you see the above matches, cirque and fjords are correctly matched. Cirque is a ball-shaped depression and fjord are the submerged coastal valley. Let's look at option C. Well, an ice shelf is a thick floating platform of ice attached to land and projected out to sea. These ice shelves fringe the periphery of coastal embayments in Antarctica, Greenland, and Canadian Arctic islands. Ice shelf is attached to the coast of an ocean or lake along at least one edge. So option C is also correct. That is, ice field is a feature that is related to coastal embayment. But the domal shelf is usually observed in ice caps, and unlike the ice caps, the ice field do not have a simple dome-like structure. Instead, their morphology and flow are controlled by the topography. Hence, option D is incorrect, and that will be the correct answer, as the question asks which one is not correctly matched. It will be option D, the ice field, which is not not a domal shape feature. The feature is controlled by the topography. Next question. Which one of the following terms best describes the process of removal of metal ions from sorry, I'm sorry. Um, okay, match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below. Uh, so here the question is asking to match the types of duri crust to their respective regions of formation. First of all, the duri crust represent the end product of a weathering, denudation, and soil formation. Alkylate is an aluminum residue. The formation is mostly restricted to humid to subhumid tropical region. Calcrete and gypcrete are confined to semi-arid to very arid regions respectively. Hence, if you see, the option B is the most suitable option here. So option B is the right answer. Okay, which one of the following terms best describes the process of removal of metal ions from solids by binding with organic acids to form soluble organic material matter metal complexes? Hydration, hydrolysis, dissolution, chelation. Chelation is the type of chemical weathering where organic chelating agents, example peptides and sugars, extract metal ions from mineral and rocks. So here option D is the correct answer, that is chelation. We're coming to the next question, question number 13. Which one of the following statement regarding deformation is not correct? If the stress is withdrawn, the body returns to its original shape and size, then the deformation is called elastic. If elastic limit is exceeded, the body does not return to its original shape and size. Ductile substances are those that undergo a large plastic deformation before rupture. In case of plastic deformation, the stress does not exceed elastic limit. So we have to choose which one is not correct. Option A correctly explains the elastic deformation, but option B is also true. Option C is true as well. In case of plastic deformation, the stress has to exceed the elastic limit, as is evident from the graph you see here. Hence, option D is incorrect, and that is the correct. That will be the option D will be the correct answer for the question. Okay, so then on question number 14, we are moving towards the structural geology part now. Um, Consider the following statements regarding types of homogeneous deformation. Constriction is a pure triaxial strain that deforms a cube uh, of material into an elongated rectangular prism of which one dimension of the cube is lengthened and the other two dimensions are shortened. Uniform dilation is a pure volumetric strain with change in the shape of deforming body. Flattening is a pure uniaxial strain that deforms a cube of material into plate-like rectangular prism. Which of the above statements are correct? We have to choose the correct statements. Okay, so as you can see from this graph, constriction is a triaxial strain with triaxial strain that deforms a cube into a prism, as you can see here. So statement 1 is correct. In uniform dilation, the volume changes but not the shape of the body. So option 2 is incorrect. Flattening is also a triaxial strain. Hence statement 3 is also incorrect. So option B will be the right answer. So here we have to, the question is asking match the list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the codes given below. So the list 1 is asking to match the attitude of the structure with their respective map symbols in list 2. Just a basic thing to note that horizontal structures are represented as lines and the vertical structures will be represented as points on the map. Based on that, let's find out the suitable options. Okay, so there is one option, that is option C, that talks about the vertical lineation. So option 2 from list 2 will be the correct symbol. Now, horizontal lineation trending northeast. So option 3 matches with option B. Hence, option B is the most suitably matched and is the correct answer for this question. Which one of the following statements regarding fabrics is not correct? Linear fabric is characterized by elongate elements without a preferred linear orientation. Planar fabric contains tabular or platy minerals or flat objects with common orientation. Random fabric shows no preferred orientation of its elements. Sedimentary and magmatic fabrics are also called primary fabrics. So we have to choose which one is not correct. So linear fabrics are fabrics defined by elements that are parallel to a line in space. So option A is incorrect. So let's look at other options as well. Option B and C are correct. D is also correct, as primary fabric is a fabric created during the original formation of the rock. Example of primary fabrics are bedding in sedimentary rocks and flow banding in igneous rocks. Hence, A is the correct answer. Okay, so the next question asks, fault in which the displacement is essentially parallel to the strike of the fault is which one of the following? Detachment fault, range fault, peripheral fault, or apparent normal fault? So, range fault is a type of strike slip fault in which the rock masses slip past one another parallel to the strike. In detachment, and peripheral and apparent normal fault, slip is perpendicular to the strike. Hence, option B will be the right answer. You can refer to the pictures here and see the displacement direction. Next question asks, consider the following statement regarding Ramsey's classification of folds. Folds can be classified using three geometric parameters which are defined relative to a given pair of parallel lines that are tangent to inner, that is concave, and outer, that is convex surfaces of the folded layers. The orthogonal thickness, small t alpha, is the perpendicular distance between two parallel tangents. The axial trace thickness, T alpha, is the distance between the two tangents measured perpendicular to the axial surface. Okay, so let's refer to the figure first. The first statement says fold can be classified using three geometric parameters which are defined relative to a given pair of parallel lines that are tangent to inner concave and outer convex surfaces of the folded layers. So according to Ramsey's classification, folds can be classified using three geometric parameters, that is deep isogon, the PQ line you are seeing here, orthogonal thickness, and axial trace thickness. As you can infer from the diagram, this orthogonal thickness T alpha is the perpendicular distance between the parallel tangents. So option 2 is also correct. The axial plane thickness, that is capital T alpha, is the intercept between the two tangents of a line parallel to the axial surface trace on the profile plane. Hence, the statement 3 is incorrect here. So the appropriate answer will be option C. Only 1 and 2 are correct. Next question asks, the diagram on a Cartesian plane in which the horizontal and vertical axes represent the normal stress and shear stress respectively that act on a plane through a point is called what? Mohr diagram, Bayes diagram, QAPF diagram, TAS diagram. So you may have already know this, but in Mohr diagram, the horizontal and vertical axis represent the normal and the shear stress respectively that act on a plane through a point, as you can see from this figure. So option A is the correct answer. So next question asks, Consider the following statements regarding types of fractures classified on the basis of relative motion that occur across the fracture surface during its formation. The relative motion during the statement 1 says the relative motion during propagation in extension fracture is perpendicular to the fracture walls. The relative motion during propagation in shear fractures is parallel to the fracture surface. The oblique extension fracture has components of displacement both perpendicular and parallel to the fracture surface. Which of the following statements given above is or are correct? So, as you can see from the first figure, the relative motion between the two blocks in an extensional fracture is perpendicular to the fracture wall. So, statement 1 is true. From the second figure, it is evident that the relative motion of blocks in a shear fracture is parallel to the fracture surface, and statement 2 is also true. The oblique extension fracture indeed has both of perpendicular as well as the parallel components to the fracture surface. Hence, all the statements given here are true. So, option D will be the correct answer. That is 1, 2, 3. All statements are true. Moving to the next question. Deformation bands in which mechanical grain breaking is significant are called which of the following? Cataclastic bands, dilation bands, compaction bands, phyllosilicate bands. So cataclastic bands form where mechanical grain breaking is significant. The bands show a cataclastic core characterized by grain size reduction and angular grain with gently fractured mineral grains, as you can see from the figure given in the slides. So option A will be the correct answer. Next question. Which one of the following statement regarding outcrop pattern of horizontal strata is not correct? The width of outcrop of a bed of uniform thickness is greatest where slopes are gentle. The width of outcrop uh, the width of outcrop of a bed, I'm reading the statement again. The width of the outcrop of a bed of uniform thickness is greatest where slopes are gentle. As you can see from the figure, width of outcrop is greatest where the slope is gentler. In this case, the look at the horizontal bed indicated in orange color. The width is greatest there compared to the other side. So statement 1 is correct. Um, then coming to the statement 2, that is B. The width of the outcrop of a horizontal bed depends upon the thickness of the bed and upon the topography. This statement is also true because where beds are steep and the topography is gentle, such as at the left side of the diagram, the outcrop width is approximately the thickness of the unit of the bed thickness of the bed. So width of the outcrop depends upon the thickness of the bed as well as the topography. Coming to the statement 3, the outcrop of the top or bottom of a horizontal bed follows the topographic contour. This statement is true as well. As you can see from the right side of the figure, the outcrop of top and bottom of the horizontal bed does follow the topographic contour. Then the statement number 4, the width of outcrop of a bed of uniform thickness is maximum where the slopes are steep. So this statement is incorrect as width of outcrop is minimum where the slopes are steep. Hence option D will be the correct answer for this question. Next question, consider the following related to range of physical properties of injected rocks in case of diapirs. Solid rock that is thoroughly broken up and fractured with some liquid in the fractures, a loose aggregate of particles buoyed up by gases or liquids that could be derived from either magmatic or some sedimentary sources. Solid rock which may have a small percentage of pore space and pore liquid. So we have to choose which one is not correct. Okay, so here are some of the physical properties of injected rocks from solid rocks. The first two statements given here are the properties of solid rocks in case of diapirs. So option 1 and 3 are correct. Statement 2 is property of injected rock that are non-diapiric in nature. Hence option 2 will be the correct answer for this question. That is C. The option C will be the correct answer for this question. That is only 2. Okay, so the next set of questions will be from mineralogy section. Here is the first question. What will be the Miller indices of the crystal phase having Weiss parameter infinite A, 1B, infinite C? Miller indices are simply the reciprocals of Weiss parameter cleared of fractions with the letters denoting the axis letter denoting the axis omitted. So after omission of the axis, the notation axis notation and taking the reciprocals, we have uh, the following the naught 1 naught as the Miller index. Hence, option B is the correct answer. What will be the relationship between interfacial angles of similar faces of two olivine crystals separated in space and time? Okay, so this question is related to Steno's law. It states that the angle between two corresponding faces on the crystals and any solid chemical or mineral species are constant and are characteristic of that species. This angle is measured between lines drawn perpendicular to each face and is the interfacial angle. The law, also called the law of constancy of interfacial angles, holds true for any two crystals regardless of size, locality of occurrence, or whether they are natural or man-made. So the relationship between interfacial angles of similar faces of two different olivine crystals separated in space and time will always be the same. So option A will be the correct answer. In crystallography, how many plane lattices are possible? So in crystallography, the five possible 2D lattices called the five plane lattices, which correspond to the five basic unit cell shapes, that is parallelogram, square, diamond, rhomb, and rectangle, and their symmetries. Crystallographers call these lattices as clinonet, diamond net, hexanet, orthonet, and square net. So there are five possible plane lattices. Option B will be the right answer. Next question asks which one among the following is a phosphate mineral? As you know, apatite with the chemical formula shown in the text is the most abundant phosphate phase in the most of the igneous rocks. So option A, apatite, will be the correct answer. How many oxygen atoms in each SiO4 tetrahedra are shared in the double chain silicates? Okay, so in a silicate structure, if some oxygens are shared between two silicon tetrahedra and some between three, we get a double chain silicate, which are also considered as inosilicates. As you can see from the figure, the upward pointing tetrahedra shares two oxygen and the downward pointing tetrahedra shares three oxygen. So half of the tetrahedra share three and other half share two oxygen. Hence, option C is the correct answer for this question. Which one of the following feldspar composition does not occur naturally? As you can see from the triangular composition plot for feldspar, there is a miscibility gap between anorthite and K-feldspar or orthoclase. Hence, composition intermediate between these two end members does not occur in a natural setting. Hence, option A will be the correct answer. Which type of chemical bond is found between silicon and oxygen in tetrahedral SiO4? Covalent ionic, 50% ionic, 50% covalent, or metallic? So, as you may have known, in a silicon oxygen bond, electrons are shared unequally between the two atoms. However, oxygen, due to its greater electronegativity, takes the larger share. So, this creates a polarization, which means silicon oxygen bonds show characteristics of both covalent and ionic bonds, and therefore, here option C will be the correct answer. Next question. Coming to the next question, silicon is in six-fold coordination in which one of the following polymorphs of silica? Rhodamite, crystallobrite, coesite, thiosobite. So usually silicon is in tetrahedral coordination with oxygen in silica, as you know, that is four-fold coordination. But at high pressure, SiO2 metastable polymorphs thiosobite has silicon in six-fold, that is octahedral coordination, and each oxygen atom is shared with three silicon atoms. So option B will be the correct answer. Next question is asking to match list 1 with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below in the list. So when it Benitoite is a rare blue barium titanium cyclosilicate. Kaolinite is a clay mineral and belongs to phyllosilicate group. Epidote is a calcium aluminum iron sorosilicate mineral. Spodumene is a pyroxene mineral inosilicate consisting of lithium aluminum inosilicate. Hence, option B here will be the right answer. Next question. Olivine does not show cleavage. Consider the following possible reasons for this. Bond strength is about equal in all direction. SiO for tetrahedra is isolated. There is no bridging oxygen. Which one of the above reason is or are correct? Which of the above reasons is or are correct? Okay, so the Si4 plus cation share oxygen with adjacent octahedra, but not with the other tetrahedra in the olivine structure. Hence, the bond strength is nearly equal in all direction and there is no plane of weakness along these bonds. So statement 1 is correct. And since there is no oxygen sharing between adjacent tetrahedra, there is no bridging oxygen like in the case of phyllosilicate, which gives it its characteristic cleavage. Hence, statement 2 and 3 are also correct. So option D will be the correct answer. That is, all the statements are possible. Which mineral is distinguished from pyroxene by its two sets of cleavage at angles of approximately 56 degree and 124 degree? So as you know, amphibole has two sets of cleavage at 56 degree and 124 degree, and hornblende is a sodium calcium amphibole and it shows the characteristic cleavage. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Based on which main physical property muscovite and biotite can be distinguished? Cleavage, color, hardness, and habit. Okay, so muscovite and biotite have similar physical properties except biotite is black or greenish black or brown black, and therefore it is also called black mica. On the other hand, muscovite is a silvery color, clear color, and is known as white mica. So option B, that is color, will be the right answer. So today we have covered the first part of our discussion with questions from physical geology, structural geology, and mineralogy. In the next parts, we will cover the rest of the questions. I hope you have found something useful from this video. If you want to prepare more holistically with the mentorship to guide you in the right direction, you can join our integrated test series for Combined GeoScientist 2023 examination. Our prelims test series for both GS and Geology is now live, which will immensely help you to identify your problem areas and work on them. So more information on the test series can be found from the links given in the description.